Mad Minute.
Hi, Brian here. Here with a quick tactical minute for you.
Three average guys reviews. Start again.
Oh, okay.
Mad Minute with three average guys reviews. I'm Brian.
Okay. Here's a tactical minute for you with three average guys reviews.
My name is Brian. Mad Minute.
Mad Minute?
Yeah, Mad Minute.
Okay.
I don't want to say tactical minute.
Okay.
Because this is not tactical.
Okay.
All right.
Here's a Mad Minute for you with three average guys reviews. My name is Brian. Today's topic is not underestimating the importance of 22s in your training regimen. A lot of people say, oh, 22s, that's a toy gun, that's a kid's gun, it's not a serious gun, it's for plinking. But you don't want to underestimate it. You don't want to downplay a 22. 22 is actually a very valuable training tool, and the reason, well, there are several reasons. One, obviously, is economy. Last few months aside, last few months notwithstanding, 22 is generally a very inexpensive caliber per shot, per round down range to train with. It's better than a centerfire gun any day of the week. Also, the thing that a 22 is going to allow you to do is going to take away any distractions that you may have with recoil or sound that are going to cause you to flinch or to behave differently. That 22 is going to allow you to isolate the fundamentals of marksmanship, okay? And those fundamentals don't change whether you're shooting something as mild as a 22 right up to a Smith & Wesson 500 Magnum. Your trigger press, sight alignment, sight picture, breath control, grip, stance, all of those fundamentals come into play whether you're shooting a small gun, large gun, doesn't matter. With a 22, okay, the more repetition you get, the better you're going to be. Remember, in a stressful situation like a tactical application, concealed carry or duty carry, whatever the case may be, you don't rise to the occasion, you don't even fall to the level of your training, you fall back to the level of training that you have mastered, okay? So mastery can only be achieved through a lot of repetition of perfect technique. 22s are exactly what you want for that purpose, okay? Again, you'll spend hours on the range for pennies with a 22 and really focus on the fundamentals rather than bang away at it with a full price, full caliber centerfire gun that's going to distract you with recoil, sound. Why not focus on the fundamentals with the 22? You're building that muscle memory. It's repeatable when you go up to that centerfire gun. Don't change anything about your technique. Rely on that muscle memory and you'll be right where you need to be. A wide availability of different action types and models, okay, gives you a lot to choose from. So for example, we have several example guns here today. This is a Ruger LCR. This is a double action only revolver, okay, 22 caliber. Great little gun for practicing, for personal defense. If you carry a double action revolver in a 38 or 357 as an example, maybe even a 327, why not pick up one of these to train with? It's going to be a lot less expensive than your full price centerfire caliber ammo. Okay, great little gun for practicing your trigger press because you're going to have to power through that double action trigger press the whole time. Next up, another Ruger. This one is a Mark III. They call this the 2245 simply because it has the same grip angle as a 1911 45. Great gun for practicing the fundamentals. You can really focus on your sight picture here. Trigger press is minimal. You just barely touch it and it's going to fire. Okay, which makes this a great gun for practicing the fundamentals as far as your sight picture because you can really isolate on that particular topic. We have a Walther P22, very popular little tactical gun. I should say tactical style gun. These make great tactical trainers because they're styled like a tactical pistol, not exclusively a target pistol. Okay, so they're styled in a lot of the ways that the larger guns are, like the PK380, same gun but in a caliber you could actually carry for personal protection. Okay, so if you want something that's going to give you the feel of your full-size gun, this is the way to go, something like a Walther P22. Ruger Single 6, okay, single action revolver, okay, single action only revolver. They're now making these in a single 10. The single 6 was a 6-round cylinder. The single 10 obviously is a 10-round. But again, great gun, particularly if you're into cowboy action shooting, but you don't want to pay $1 a round for 45 Colt. Why not pick up a single 6 and you can practice for pennies with exactly the same action type. Okay, great sights. They're adjustable. Got a nice big front blade sight. Great gun for practicing that sight alignment, sight picture. Okay, particularly if you're into that style of shooting with single action. Why not get a 22 in a rifle? Okay, this particular one dates from the 1960s. This was my father's. It's stamped Sears Roebuck. Okay, so obviously it was passed down to me. But there are plenty of bolt action or single shot or even lever action 22s out there. You can get really any action type. Lately, the tactical style 22 rifles have come in, like the Smith & Wessons, the M&P 1522. Functions just like an AR in every respect, except it's a 22 LR, and you can practice for pennies on the dollar instead of 75 cents or $1 every time you press the trigger. This particular one is a bolt action with a tube-fed magazine. Okay, great little gun. Whether you're plinking or doing serious target practice, why practice with your 308 even? Your bolt action 308 when you can practice with this. The fundamentals don't change, and you're going to spend a lot less money to do it. More trigger time for less money. So in addition to different action types and models and styles to choose from, you can also spice up your training a little bit, make it a little more fun with things like reactive targets. So you can go out and get these metal targets, okay? Many of these specify on them that they're for rimfire only, for 22 only. Okay, you can throw these down range and hit these plinkers here, okay? They're like little gong targets. You set them on the ground. Make sure it's safe to do so. Your range policy may have issues with targets on the ground, but if it's safe to do so and your club allows you to, reactive targets are a great way to make it more fun rather than just busting paper. Try a rest, okay? This particular one is a rifle rest, okay? When we're talking about isolating the fundamentals of marksmanship, okay, a rest is a great way to focus on taking user error out of the process. So if your issue is trigger press, or if your issue is sight picture, sight alignment, or even focusing on the crosshair, placing the gun in a rest will eliminate your movement, eliminate any flinching, okay, and allow you to just focus on whichever fundamental you're trying to drill down on and really build that repeatable muscle memory. So if your issue is breath control, if your issue is that trigger press, letting that shot surprise you, if your issue is focusing on the crosshairs rather than on the target, repetition and mastering the right technique is going to be very helpful, and the rest can help you do that. Another way you can use a rest, rests are not only for rifles, you can use it for pistol as well. This is a fairly inexpensive model. This is about $25, I think. On most websites, you can get them at the big box stores like Bass Pro and Cabela's. Again, what this will allow you to do is isolate exclusively on whichever fundamental you're trying to work on, whether that's trigger press or sight picture, sight alignment. And it takes that wobble factor out, takes user error out completely. You can really focus on getting good. This is also great for beginners as well if you're teaching someone to shoot. Really maximizes early success, lets the shooter feel pretty good about hitting that target consistently. Okay, so using a pistol rest, particularly with a 22, with any gun, but particularly with a 22, can really enhance the shooter's experience and let him focus one by one at the fundamentals rather than cramming in all the variables all at once, and then maybe you're really not sure which of those variables is affecting your performance. You can really drill it down and focus one step at a time on each of those fundamentals. And the last thing about a 22, obviously, is the ammunition. Okay, 22 ammunition in the last several months has been very scarce. It's an unusual thing, but with all the panic buying this year, 22 is hard to come by. Ordinarily, what we would call a brick of 500, or this is the Remington, this 550 in here. This should cost you about $18 or $20. Any more, if you can find it, it's considerably more. Hopefully when things come back down to normal and the prices come down out of the stratosphere, it'll make a little more sense to invest in a 22, and the ammo will be cheap. But so, last few months notwithstanding, a 22 is an economical way to train. Okay, so don't overlook the importance of a 22 in your training regimen. It's very cost effective. The fundamentals don't change, so you're getting the same training value, and you'll be getting a lot more trigger time for your money.